Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Who are these people?
Notice me, senpai. Notice me.
Don't be rude.
That's twice. I'm late. I mean, the countdown was done, and I wasn't paying attention. But welcome to another episode of Pro Wrestling Talk. I am Angel Rivera, alongside, as usual, Mrs.Witchy Perfect. Alex Knight should be on around 9, so we only have about an hour, maybe a little bit more, depending how longer the conversation goes. So
right, but this, I mean, wow, we got so much to talk about. So let's get started.
So we'll be previewing Saturday night's main event, which is next Saturday, and programming notes. And I'll repeat this throughout the evening. The next 2 Saturdays will not be on because next Saturday is Saturday night's main event, and Saturday after that's the Royal Rumble. So
yeah.
So we'll be on Sundays at 7, next 2 Sundays. So this the programming note. We got to preview Saturday night's main event. Yeah,
we'll I also watch Sunday, right? Sunday at 7.
Yeah, both next 2 Sundays. Yeah, we're gonna have.
I have literally double booked myself for Sunday, the 26th. So I have my my one show, Black Magic Talk, with the lovely Sonia Smith. So she's going to be our guest, and we're going to do an Imulk celebration, talk about UFO. And then
oh yeah, you told me this.
Us at 7, yeah. So I'll get them both in there, you know. I mean, because we only go in like an hour, so
yeah. But yeah, we were previewing Saturday night's main event tonight. Next Sunday, probably preview the Royal Rumble and review the show. And I also watched AEW Dynamite in its entirety this week, so I'll review that.
I'm so sorry for you. I was just sitting there going, why would you do that to yourself, Angel?
The only reason why I did was because it was a small possibility that Powerhouse Hobbs win the world title, which he didn't. And he was humiliated in the process, so I should never watched the show.
Stephen Chambers, good to see you.
Hey, Stephen.
I mean, you poor thing. Why do you torture yourself that way?
So
I'm just if I see it on X, I see it on X, right?
And then we have to talk about Penta's preview, Penta's debut on Raw. And if we have time, we also got to get to the the contract, the agreement between WWE and TNA, which they're gonna be working together now. So
right. And
they
no
s-
offense, guys, but I'm not going to be nice about the Penta debut. I wasn't really impressed, okay, to say the least. And I did watch it because my neighbor is nice enough to let me, have a Netflix and use her account. So, I mean, guys, I'm just not going to be nice.
we'll get to that.
We'll
But
get there.
we'll get to that.
Is that alcohol?
Oh no, this is water,
Oh,
flavored water.
okay.
But let's get Saturday night's main event is next Saturday from San Antonio at the Frost Bank Center.
And do we have any matches set?
Yeah, it's 3 so far.
Okay,
There'll probably be a couple more. There'll be a couple more.
I think that's what we were waiting for to review.
Yeah, to preview it. The only 3 matches, but there probably 2 more added or 1 more added throughout these weeks. The next because there's another Raw and SmackDown coming up before the show takes place. So they set up this match on SmackDown last night. In fact, Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu.
Okay. I say Jacob Fatu, even though he still has a bit of a learning curve yet to do.
Well, they're gonna give Jacob Fatu that they're gonna strap a rocket to him. He'll be on top of the cards rather quickly.
Okay.
Especially what happened on SmackDown when Solo basically walked away and Jacob had this look on his face like, "The fuck is wrong
what
with
was
this
he?
guy?"
Yeah, he kept saying to the crowd, "Shut the fuck up!" Like, excuse me.
It's like Solo lost whatever confidence he had, so he just walked away, and Jacob's like, "You know what? I'm gonna take over."
Follow, right? He lost to Roman Reigns, so Roman Reigns has that momentum now going into. Well, now he wants Cody, so he entered the Royal Rumble, right? I mean,
so they all basically Jacob Fatu is gonna get a rocket strapped to his ass. He'll be on top rather quickly. So Jacob Fatu is gonna win this match. Not much else to say about it. Braun Strowman is there to get him over.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, he beat a huge guy. He beat a guy twice his size. That whole thing. That whole deal.
And like I said, there's that. But I thought that was cool. Like, I mean, literally Solo was being booed out of the building, y'all.
He's over as a heel now. We may see some NXT wrestlers at TNA's pay-per-view Genesis tomorrow night. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the deal they signed there and reinforced the ring for Jacob and Braun. Yeah, I'm sure I'm sure WWE will say, "Hey, look, man, we have to reinforce these rings. These 2 monsters are going to come up next, blah blah."
Like what did they had to they had that ring breakage at it was Bronson Reed and
Braun Strowman.
Yeah, Braun Strowman.
When they were feuding,
why is he not on Raw? Did he just switch? Just willy-nilly would switch?
I guess, yeah. Just because they had there's a transfer period since Raw was moved to Netflix, so it's an excuse for them to transfer guys show to show wherever they want. So
I was gonna say, don't they have that draft where they act like the NFL for a while?
Yeah, which is after WrestleMania usually, but they had a transfer period, so they could move guys.
Okay.
They can move guys over to Raw whenever they feel like
that match was insane though when they did Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman.
Bronson Reed broke his foot and really bad, so he's going to be out into like the summer at least.
Remember when the ring broke? I was like, really?
Yeah.
You guys can't reinforce this stuff by now.
All right, the next match announced is Braun Breaker defending his Intercontinental title versus Sheamus, which honestly they haven't done anything with Braun Breaker ever since he moved to Netflix.
I know. What the hell? Stop leaving him off of shows. He's a beast.
They keep leaving him off these shows, Now he's on Saturday night's main event in a match with Sheamus, but like, where is he on
Sheamus?
Raw?
I don't want Sheamus to win. I want Braun Breaker to win. Come on, Braun. I'm right behind you all the way. Yeah, I think Braun takes it because I mean, Sheamus really. I mean, I'm not saying Sheamus is washed up. I would never say that, but I mean.
They keep promoting the only title Sheamus hasn't won is the Intercontinental title.
But he had the heavyweight belt.
Yeah, multiple times.
This is kind of like low for him, low. It's a lower on the totem pole.
It's like if Hulk Hogan, not comparing Sheamus to Hulk Hogan, but I'm saying Hulk Hogan wants the Intercontinental. As I know you
You're
wouldn't.
right. Sheamus was nicer. Okay.
Yeah.
I say Braun Breaker all the way
Yeah, I do
because
too.
I'm a big, huge Braun Breaker
I
fan.
do too, and they kind of not been using him. He basically been in the crowd ever since Raw got to Netflix. He was there in week 1 and week 2 again. He's like, okay, where is he? Where is he in the cards? Why is he not, in a match?
I know. I mean, he's the Intercontinental Champ. Come on, you
Yeah.
can't leave him off. That's not fair.
Yeah,
That
so
would be like leaving
hopefully,
Mr. Perfect off because he's the IC champ.
yeah.
Well, Braun Breaker is a beast. I mean, come
Hmm.
on.
And the third match and the last match had been announced is Gunther versus Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, Gunther. Oh, come on. I admit that Jay has got the crowd. Okay, he's got the crowd behind him.
Yeah.
I get that. He got that yeet stuff going on. Okay.
Yeah, he's over
but
as a
his
personality.
work is just, it leaves a lot to be desired, guys. I'm not gonna lie.
He's over as a personality.
So right.
His match with Jimmy at WrestleMania was the worst match of the 2 nights. I reviewed that and it was like, oh,
yeah,
it's brutal.
He just had a match though, I think.
Hope Sheamus wins. The only title Sheamus never held. Yeah, I don't see him winning though, Steven.
It's below him. He was heavyweight champion. This is kind of like stepping. This is like Flair going after the U.S. belt when he was world champ for like 14 times, right? Yeah.
So Gunther kind of, if you saw Raw, in their promo, Gunther kind of looked down on him. Like, you're just a tag team wrestler. Like, why are you even bothering coming after me? You're just a tag team guy.
Well, and Gunther should be that way because, I mean, technically his work is just, it's not there yet. And he's been in the business for 14 years, 15 years.
Jay's been around a long time.
I hope Jesse Ventura punches Hogan. I would not be surprised.
Yeah, Hogan's booked to be there, apparently. Steven, Hogan's supposed to be there, allegedly. I hope that if I were booked, if I were in charge, I'd probably do a pre-tape. It's like, yeah, Hulk, stay home. We'll send the camera, dude. Do a pre-tape.
Yeah, like do a pre-tape promo or something, Yeah,
I mean, don't worry about coming to San Antonio because it didn't go well last time you were in person in Los Angeles. So. And Jesse's gonna be there, and Jesse's probably gonna kick your ass. So
yeah, and like I said, everyone said, "Oh, well, that was just a work." No, it wasn't, guys. I mean, Jesse Ventura really hates Hulk Hogan, and and they've never buried the hatchet. So says
they never
Jesse.
buried.
Jesse said that on Clubhouse,
and he probably never will. I mean, honestly,
and he probably never will because again, there's that. If these wrestlers don't want a union, well, then screw you. Get screwed in the butt. By the promoters.
And then they also announced, I think Gunther wins, by the way. I didn't get a chance to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see Jay being the face of Raw,
Yeah. Especially if WrestleMania is coming up. So I'm sure, they had plans for Gunther there. But they also announced the contract signing between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens for their ladder match at Royal Rumble.
Cody Rhodes beats the crap out of Kevin Owens.
And of course, Shawn Michaels is supposed to moderate that. So of course, they have
Shawn Michaels,
and they have to use Shawn. Yeah, they have to use Shawn somehow because he's from San Antonio. So it's like, so he's going to be on the show somehow. So
wow,
obviously you're going to use Shawn. And I was like, how are they going to use Shawn Michaels on this show? It's obvious he's going to be there doing something. He's in San Antonio. So yeah,
all right,
Shawn Michaels is So that's Saturday night's main event as of now. I'm sure they'll announce another match or two and the Raw and SmackDown before the show, but that's all we got as of now.
Tiffy time. I'm like, ugh.
Oh my god. I mean, she's good. I mean, she's good. She's like really young still, and I'm surprised how good she is for her age. It shows how good the WWE Performance Center is, really. But
I know what I wanted to ask you. Go ahead.
But this whole Tiffy time thing. It's like I've seen grown men say it's Tiffy time. It's like you're my age. Like what it's like the nerdiest thing I've ever seen. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, you could be happy she won the belt, but don't be Tiffy time. That bullshit. It's like, no. Be a man, it's like, oh well, she won. Great, I mean, finally. It's been 6 months since she had that briefcase, but
so my question to you is do you think that Charlotte Flair is coming back on Saturday night's main event?
Probably not. I would probably save that for the Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble, okay.
Which is in the week after. But if you don't know, guys, they finally had a vignette for Charlotte's return on SmackDown tonight or last night.
I saw it. I was like, oh my God, she acts like her dad.
Yeah.
Because her dad was like, the nature boy had like 5 girls on his arm. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So she's the same way. She's just like, she got these big freaking rings and diamonds on her hand. I'm like, oh my God, you're so much like your dad.
That's the whole point. Hey, Max, thank you for joining us.
Hi, Max.
Yeah, if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe. But yeah, next I'm going to quickly get through the Dynamite review. It was called AEW Dynamite Maximum Carnage. So each show now has to have his own nickname for some reason.
All right, well, go ahead. I'm holding my nose.
And it took place from the I forget what place is in Cincinnati, so it was a small building in Cincinnati, like a couple thousand people. And honestly, it looked better. The show looked better. The fans seemed to be into it. It was like, oh, okay, well, this is different. Smaller building, more intimate. The fans are closer. It's louder. So it's like, that's okay. A little improvement there. But holy shit, the show itself was awful.
Oh, man. That's why I'm saying I'm holding my nose, but go ahead.
Yeah,
I'll put my comments in.
That was the only good thing about, the way they booked that arena. But the rest of the show was not good. And I did live tweet it throughout the show. I did live tweets. So if you guys follow me on X, you would seen it on Wednesday night. But so it was kind of, I'm looking at it now to remind myself because some things I forgot. So the show opens, Taz comes out. Oh, welcome back, Taz. Apparently he had knee replacement surgery, so he's back. Taz had a knee replaced. So basically what happened was Christian and his cronies beat him up and, injured him, and that's how I explain his absence. So we'll get to that later, but that's another awful segment there. The opening match, for some reason, was Kenny Omega versus Brian Cage. For some reason, this is Kenny Omega's first match back in over a year because he's had his diverticulitis, and he opens the show. He's jerking the curtain, basically, opening the show for no reason. Mm-hmm. I'm like, why isn't this guy on last? I mean, everybody the AEW fan who the few that are left love Kenny Omega. He's like the biggest star there, and he's opening the show and he has this stupid Final Fantasy music, which is total ripoff of Final Fantasy, like terrible. So the match itself happens. Omega wins, of course. It's okay, it wasn't much of anything. Then he gets beat up by the Callis family, and it was Cage and the other 2 nerds, in that family. And Don Callis beat him up too. And then Will Ospreay comes out to save him. For no reason, because they're both be enemies at the same time. So I don't understand why Will Ospreay would save him. He's the consummate babyface. Of course he has to save his mortal enemy for some reason. So yeah, they save each other. Then Take a Shit comes out. I can't pronounce his name. And they had their face off. Yeah, they have their face off. Yeah, for the Continental Championship, which eventually is going to happen. Why isn't Omega going for the world title? Again, I don't know. I mean, why would he want that silly little belt that Take a Shit has? Again, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that name. So,
yeah. No, that's okay. I was watching and I was watching your tweets and I was just like, man, I can't believe you had to torture yourself to watch this stupid shit.
Steven thought Omega and Cage was a good match. It was okay. It was the best match of the night, but that's not saying much, It wasn't that impressive anyway. So
I'm not impressed with Omega, even though he's come back from this whatever itis. I'm not impressed with him because he is the only wrestler I know that is dumb enough and stupid enough to wrestle Japanese girls. That's called pedophilia. Okay. Thank you. Take a shit. Yeah, take a shit. I
forgot to mention Kyle Fletcher still looks like Randy Orton from 2006. I mean, the way he shaved his head. Yeah. He looks like Randy Orton from 2006 or 2005 when he shaved his head entirely. And he looks ridiculous.
Get a new gimmick.
All right. So the next match. Oh, no, actually, no. The next segment after that, I went to use the bathroom. I came back. It was Jericho in the Learning Tree cutting a backstage promo. I was like, okay, let me go take a walk. Oh, God. Again.
I saw Jericho had this, he was looking in the mirror and he had he was going to take a picture of himself. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, it looked like old leather. I mean, put the shirt back on. Jericho, you are old. You look awful. You look like an old fucking man trying to be relevant. Put
Yeah,
the shirt
when
back on.
I came back from the bathroom, I saw Jericho in the learning tree. I took a walk again because, like, nope, not even listening to it. It apparently was a promo for the 12-man tag that's supposed to take place tonight on Collision, which I'm not watching, but obviously. So there's a 12-man tag for no reason. You know, they're promoting that match for tonight, whatever. The next match, or at least as far as I have it here on my X, I don't know, I might have missed something. It's the 6-man tag between Private Party and Mark Briscoe, who still looks like a meth head, versus the Hurt Business, Hurt Syndicate. That's from WWE name. Sorry, I call them the Hurt Business, but so that match, MVP dominated that match for some reason. He's 51 years old, hasn't worked a match in 2 years, but he's dominating everybody in that match. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? Bobby did very little. Shelton did even less. So it's like it's all MVP. And then, oh, by the way, who gets to fall? Who gets to win? MVP. He pins on Mark Briscoe clean. Not a good match. It was like,
I mean, Bobby. They're not doing anything with Bobby Lashley, and he's the veteran. He's from WWE. You know, he knows exactly what he's doing.
All three of them from WWE.
Yeah.
But MVP had a match in 2.5 years, and he's the one that took most of the match. I'm like,
oh my God.
Why wasn't Bobby taking most of the match? It's fine that Hurt Syndicate won, but why is MVP dominating this match? I don't know. I mean,
because Tony Khan does not know how to book. And this is the same garbage that we've been seeing. And the ratings are now literally showing that it's shit. That they can't even be NXT. Yeah. And this is the first, this is like the stars that are trying to get onto the main roster.
Yeah, they're not even. Yeah, they're not even there. So, yeah, Hurt Syndicate won. It was a blab match. I think they're trying. Oh, for some reason, I forgot to mention, Private Party did a gay stripper dance on the way to the ring. It was like,
oh my God!
Like, what the hell's going on here? You know what I mean?
I mean, this is not like Rick Rude. I mean, because Rick Rude would never say, do like a gay dance in front of gay guys.
Yeah.
Rick Rude did it to, do the ladies, get the ladies riled up. But this.
No, this was bad. This dance. All right, so that match happened. Bleh. Then we get a segment with Ricochet coming to the ring.
Oh no.
Yeah, and he's turned heel. He has a suit, It's like, and I put down immediately, oh no, my ex Ricochet, the corniest motherfucker in pro wrestling. No wonder why WWE never gave him a mic. WWE never gave him a mic. He very rarely spoke in WWE.
WWE's like, hi, bye. You can have him AEW because he can't wrestle.
He never spoke. He could, he did the high flying stuff and it was cool, but never gave him a mic. Very rarely. And this is the reason why. He comes out, he gets booed. He's just standing there like an idiot, and then he says a few words. I don't know what he said. And then Swerve's music hits. And, he's waiting for Swerve. He's scared, and then his manager, I forget his name right now. Swerve's manager, whatever his name is, the black guy. He comes in with a chair. He does the dance. He does this stupid dance, his manager. I'm forgetting his name right now. Doesn't matter. He hits Ricochet from behind with a chair. He does this stupid dance. Swerve comes out to the ring with a chain. He gets in the ring. He tries to hit Ricochet. He rolls out and runs away, goes literally out the arena, exiting the building, and down the street running away. Pointless segment. I don't know what the hell it's supposed to accomplish.
What the hell? You come out with a chain? Act like Hercules, damn it. Hercules came out with a 50-foot chain. He didn't run away like a little bitch. You know what I mean?
Ricochet. He ran away. Swerve barely chased him. And apparently that sets up a match 3 weeks from now on Dynamite in February. So, okay.
Oh my God.
Yep. Oh, I think I inverted the orders of the match because now that so it doesn't matter. I already did the Bobby Lashley thing, and then let's see what's next here. Next is Jeff Jarrett and MJF segment. Oh, this was bad. This was awful. So Jarrett comes out.
Was never really a main event guy.
So Jeff Jarrett comes out. He comes out first. He cuts his promo, talking about how he wants to be the world champion at 57 years old. By the way, so
Jeff Jarrett or MVP?
Yeah, Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett wants to be the world champion.
Oh.
at 57. Like, this is my last ride in wrestling. You know, I want one more run. You know, it's like blah blah blah.
Jared, you were only WWF champ. You were only TNA champ, and that's only because your father had the territory. Oops.
And
I mean,
then
come on, really?
He was
you were the main event guy.
He was WCW champion, but that was because Russo, his best buddy, was booking.
Oh my God, Russo!
You remember that? He was WCW.
Russo
champ
also
too.
made himself champ, so I mean, he might as well just pissed in Jared's face anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Steven, it's 3 weeks away. Swerve and Ricochet in Atlanta, in the episode of Dynamite. So, yep. So Jared's in the ring. MJF comes out. He does his usual one-trick pony shit. You know, it's like. He comes out, he runs his mouth, he runs down Jarrett, you know, calls him a bunch of names, and Jarrett laughs in his face like MJF is some kind of mark, you know. So it's like
technically he is, but he was the best thing they had going for him, and then they fucked that up too.
No, he's dead now. MJF is a one-trick pony. And I said I said when we first started the show or before that even. It's like he might be the biggest star in the business. He might go to WWE and they're gonna make him into the top heel. Boy, was I wrong. Holy shit, this guy is a one-trick pony. Because his character never evolved. He's the same though he was in 2022. The same character. When he turned babyface, like, okay, this is good. You know, he's a top babyface, blah blah. He gets hurt, he leaves, and he comes right back being the heel he always was. Like, it's just corny now. And then eventually get to the point they MJF starts talking about Owen Hart and dragging Owen Hart's name to the mud.
Oh no!
And that pissed off Jeff Jarrett enough where they started fighting, and you know, basically MJF said, "Well, you're using Owen Hart to get another world title run before you retire."
Owen's dead. His problems are over. I know Jeff Jarrett was him and Owen were very close. I mean, Owen was close with everybody. Let's put it that way. He also was a big ribber. I think he could give Kurt a run for his money, but I still think Kurt is number one. But I mean, Owen, him and Owen were really, really close, and he was really distraught after the whole.
Yeah,
Owen.
He was, and actually, if I remember correctly, he was the next match after Owen died.
Yeah, because and he's pacing, and you see Deborah like, oh my gosh, we're praying for you, Owen, and they were really intense. He's like, why are we even having a match? You know, like they wanted the show to stop because and you have Vince going, well, Owen would want it that way. Really, Vince? You think Owen would want the show to still go on?
He used that as an excuse to continue the show because he didn't want to give out refunds.
Right.
He already got everybody's money, so it's like hell with it. So the death of AEW Twitter account came up with a really good point here. So MJF can use Owen's death as a jab against Jarrett, try to sell a few tickets, but Martha won't allow WWE to set up her kids for life by making big bank and having WWE showcase his matches and merch.
I mean, that's true. Me and
it's
Owen
okay.
Really
Martha's fine with MJF using Owen's name as a jab against Jarrett, but God forbid if WWE, she can set up her kids for life by allowing WWE to.
Yeah, I don't get that. I mean,
why would Owen to the Hall of Fame?
Yeah,
and
why
selling
would you
his
let
merch?
AEW do this to Owen's memory? Owen would not even be close to what. I mean, Owen was a second generation superstar, and much like Brett, I mean, they were very similar in their styles. So why would you let AEW run that through the mud? Owen Hart was a great wrestler. He was.
This is Vince's evil mustache.
That's why I said, "Shut up, Vince." I love you, Vince. It's okay.
They were tag team partners before Owen's passed.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
they were very close.
Yeah.
They were very, very close.
Yeah. So but meanwhile, she won't let her kids will be set up for life because I guarantee you everybody would buy Owen's merch.
Yeah, because Owen was very popular, even though, I mean, he in the WWF, I think it was more of a joke because he was, in Brett's shadow. Yeah. And then when Brett got screwed, it was all Owen. And really, what happened there was, and I'm sure you know this, Brett wanted to take Owen with him to WCW, and Vince went, "Oh no, you can't do that." And that they think that could be, one of the many reasons of why they screwed Brett, because he wanted to take Owen with him.
Yeah. So yeah, that was that pointless.
But then he didn't even use Owen right.
No, he just turned into Blue Blazer again, embarrassed him.
Again, yeah, and that's how that whole thing with the quick release happened when it was supposed to be a solid piece, and Vince at the last minute said, no, have a quick release. Well, that's what caused the accident. So, and if Brett hadn't kept his mouth shut, I think Martha could have gotten a lot more, but we love you, Brett.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, Vince is gone. And also, during the Owen Hart Classic a couple of years ago, AEW allowed a match between Jeff Hardy and Darby Allin in a garbage match, in a tournament named after Owen Hart. Did a no disqualification garbage match, which is something Owen would have never done, probably.
I mean,
this is the match where Darby went through the pane of glass for a couple of years ago for no reason.
It was a garbage match. I mean,
yeah, it was
a garbage match. It literally was shit. And Owen would be like, "What the fuck? That's not how I wrestled. I wrestled as a second generation, as Kurt did." I mean, if you watch their match, it was Blue Blazer versus Mr. Perfect at WrestleMania 5. Go back and watch that match. Owen and Kurt are excellent.
Yeah. So that was that pointless segment. I think we're going to get MJF and Jarrett at some point. Who cares? And then the next match on the cards was Hook versus who was it, Christian, or was it? I think it was Christian. I forget. Yeah, okay, yeah. I feel bad. I feel bad for Hook, still stuck in AEW. Now he's stuck in a program with Christian. Hook should be in NXT and actually develop his character. So that's what I put at the time, but Hook, Taz was there, blah, blah, eventually it was a disqualification, and then Hook was getting beat up by Christian and his cronies, and then all of a sudden Samoa Joe was back, and he saved Hook from getting his ass beat. So Samoa Joe's another guy. As soon as his contract is up, he's running back to Triple H and WWE. So he's waiting out his contract. So
he's one of those very few wrestlers that knew what the fucking hell they were doing. Him and Bobby Lashley, and then there's someone else who knows what they're doing. But Samoa Joe, I wouldn't be surprised. I hope he does go back to Triple H.
Yeah, he's going to go back to WWE because
they're going to make you a bigger star, dude.
Triple H is the one who hired him in NXT, and now he's in charge of the whole thing, so he's definitely going back. And then the next segment, we got Dustin Rhodes backstage giving a pep talk to Jeff Jarrett.
Are you fucking kidding me?
They're talking about how you're the last outlaw.
Get off of there. Dustin, get off of there.
You're the last outlaw. You're one of the all-time great, blah, blah, blah. He's like puffing up.
No, he wasn't. He was a mid-card guy at best. And then, like I said, the only reason why he was heavyweight champion, the only time he ever was TNA.
Yeah. And his dad on the territory at the time. So
right.
So Dustin was there. Dustin is the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champion, by the way. So that's why he had belts, by the way. So even though he's like finished almost 60, and
I was gonna say he's up there, isn't he?
Yeah, Dustin's older than Cody by a lot. So over 10 years difference, I think. So Dustin and his sister, I think Terry, are a lot older than Cody. They had Cody pretty late.
In like 85. I think Cody came in 85, and then we came in 86. Because I was watching that NWO thing, and they had Joe on, and of course he was saying, my dad would always make me watch those NWO things again and again. I'm like, why not? I mean, they're freaking awesome. And then they also had Cody on when Dusty eventually would turn to the NWO.
Yeah, eventually.
He would turn against Larry Sabisco, in fact.
Bad Cookie say you can always make me smile with that moaf. Last of the breed. Yeah, they called Jarrett, last breed or something, and it was like, just bad. All right, the next match was a gauntlet match for number one contendership for the women's.
Oh my God, title. How many fucking matches do they have?
Yeah, it was a lot. Toni Storm came back. It was there. A new girl, Megan Bain. A bunch of other random girls were in there. And Toni Storm won, and now she's number one contender versus Mariah May, whatever her name is, the champion. And they're going to wrestle at Grand Slam in Australia, which is supposed to be a pay-per-view, and now it's not going to be a pay-per-view. So get a load of this disaster. Grand Slam supposed to be in Australia as a pay-per-view. Great. Yeah. Turns out they had to go to a smaller building because, of course, they couldn't sell tickets for the football stadium.
Mm-hmm.
So they moved it to a smaller stadium. It's supposed to be a pay-per-view. Now it's not. Now it's going to be on at midnight Eastern because Tony Khan, like an idiot, booked the same day as the NBA All-Star game. So the NBA All-Star game is on so they're going to air the NBA All-Star game on primetime, obviously, and AEW Grand Slam is going to air at midnight where nobody's going to watch it.
Especially not at midnight. I'll be sleeping.
So it's a disaster, It's just it's a horrible. Tony Khan just booked himself into oblivion there. But here's the thing with Toni Storm, it gets worse. Toni Storm was timeless. Toni Storm. She was basically a Marilyn Monroe cosplayer. So she lost the title at All In. She goes away. She comes back as her old gimmick, the punk rock gimmick that she had, and now she has amnesia. Followed along with this, she has the amnesia.
What the fuck?
So now she thinks she's a rookie and never wrestled before.
Oh my god! She probably wrestles like it too.
Follow along with this. See how this makes no sense. So did I get that right? Because that's the way I understood it. And they're going along with this. The commentary is going along with this. Like it's makes sense.
Was Tony? Is he like Tony Schiavone wasn't even there or something?
No, he's there.
Or maybe he was there. He was there. Yeah.
Tony's still hanging around there.
So Toni Storm actually, she got promoted from someone went into her pussy or something, like face first into her pussy or something. They were talking about that on Jim Cornette, and I was like, really?
That was
really?
I might have missed that.
That's a man thing. That's a man thing.
So, WWE booked Saturday night's main event at the same night as AEW All In, July 12th. So they booked the Saturday night's main event the same night as their big all-in pay-per-view. And by the way, I do remember WWE claimed, "Oh, we don't set the dates. NBC does."
Bullshit.
Which nobody believes, but yeah,
I call bullshit on that one.
Yeah, WWE was like, "Oh no, we don't book the Saturday night's main event dates. That's NBC who does that." Like, nobody believes us, right? One of those things.
Hey, I will watch Saturday night's main event. I will not watch that stupid all-in pay-per-view bullshit at 12 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, no, that's all in. That's supposed to be on prime time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not on midnight.
Fuck that. I would rather watch, and I hope, please, Braun Breaker, baby. Get a B-Star! I'm going to get a shirt with Braun Breaker. Do they even sell them? I hope they do.
I think so, yeah. Watch next month.
I'm getting a Braun Breaker shirt. I'm going to wear it next week, but I have my Kurt Hennig shirt because Kurt Hennig.
So Steven says, "Watch next month in Australia. It's a miracle Tony remembers." I wouldn't be surprised if they set up something like that, since that's their home country. It's like, oh yeah, I remember who I am now. Anyways, the main event finally, we got Jon Moxley, the AEW World Title Champion, versus Powerhouse Hobbs.
What do they call her? Bruiser. They call him Boozer. Boozer. I'm Jon Moxley.
So Moxley's the champion. Of course, we don't get to see the belt because it's in a suitcase held by the woman, Maria Schaefer, whatever her name is. Yeah, she has a title in a briefcase. So Moxley been the champion for 6 months, and we haven't seen the title. So I don't know why they haven't.
I don't know he even has it. I think he's just bluffing.
So he did beat Danielson for the belt. So and that's when they did the whole thing where they put the plastic
over his.
Yeah, that's after he won the title. That's what they did.
Okay, he did it once, and it was really bad. It wasn't like Terry Funk doing it to Ric Flair. Okay, this wasn't that material. This was cheap. This was bullshit. And you did it once, and then you did it twice, and it sucked even worse the second time.
So Moxley has the match. Of course, Moxley has the bleed. He has to bleed on cable television. But
he's gonna have like major scars all over his forehead.
Yeah, but this time it's different. He didn't bleed from his forehead. Powerhouse Hobbs bit his ear off like Mike Tyson.
Oh my god! Ew.
That's how they did it now. So
really,
and this had to be Moxley's idea. There's no way Powerhouse Hobbs did this on his own. So basically, it was Moxley's idea, and Tony said
like that, like
Tyson and Tony said, "Oh yeah, I'll do it. It's a cool spot, kid. Do it." Hobbs is like,
"What the fuck is wrong with you, Moxley? I think you have literally a screw loose."
He has a fetish for blood. I don't know. That's something that makes sense because he bleeds in every match.
Well, I hope he doesn't jack off to that stuff.
Yeah, so he bleeds, of course, and They have basically they immediately go outside the ring and do spots out there, blah blah blah. Then then the worst part of the match happens where Powerhouse Hobb gives him a power slam off the top rope. He instantly no sells it and turns it into like an armbar or something.
I hate
What are
that
you doing?
shit.
Why are you
No,
no
sell
selling?
something. Sell something. It's called
He's no
selling. Do it.
He's no selling Powerhouse Hobbs offense, and he's twice his size. He power slams it off the top rope and then immediately transitioned to like a bulldog choke or some kind of arm bar. I don't know what it is, but he just no
What the
sold it.
fuck?
Like he's a jujitsu badass. That's what he thinks he is, even though he loses when he actually has real fights. But we already discussed that.
Ugh.
And yeah, he's a jujitsu badass. He can't sell anything. Trust me, I'll tell you something right now. I guarantee you Reef Breland of INN could beat John Moxley because he actually trained in jiu-jitsu and he's better than Moxley. So
Oh, I'm sure.
he
I
can
would like
beat
to
John
see that,
Moxley.
though.
He
would beat
John
the
Moxley.
shit out of him. I would
Yeah.
go reef.
So yeah, they do that, then eventually they get to the finish where Moxley and Maria Shafir hits him with the briefcase. He kicks out. Then he hits some other stuff. He kicks out. More cheating. Then eventually Moxley transitions to a bulldog choke and he chokes him out and becomes the champion. Or retains the title. So he beats him clean in the middle of the ring with his finish. Just burying the huge guy there.
Yeah.
The guy who should be the star. Instead, he gets buried because Moxley has to no-sell everything and pretend he's a jiu-jitsu badass and beat him by choking him out in the middle. Like he's some kind of bitch. So that was AEW Maximum Carnage. It sucked. I don't get it. I don't know what you guys think in the chat, but I thought it sucked. So
I didn't watch it and I thought it sucked.
no, again, I forgot. It gets worse. It gets worse.
Okay.
So there's an
no.
afterbirth. After they beat Powerhouse Hobb in the middle like he's jabroni, then his entire Death Rider groups come in. They beat him up, Powerhouse Hobb, some more. Then they put a chair on his ankle. And usually the way this spot works is they put the chair on the ankle or on the neck, and then the other baby faces come out and save him before that happens. For some reason this time, the baby faces allowed the heels to destroy Hobbs' ankle. And then right after the hit, that's when Edge's music played. And the baby faces come out. So they butchered this. They completely butchered this somehow. And Edge comes out with FTR and they stand in the ring while the heels run away. And that's the end of the show. It's just horrible.
I mean, you broke your ankle for what? Just so you could come out and not save your pals?
He didn't. Right after his ankle was, he hurt his ankle. That's when Edge's music played. And that's when the baby faces ran out.
No, I mean, Adam Copeland. Didn't he break his leg or something?
Yeah, he broke his leg.
You broke your leg to come back and what? Not save your pal, your babyface pal?
It just doesn't make any sense. The spot
what
works.
The fuck?
You put the chair on the ankle, and then right before it happens, the music plays and baby faces run out, and the heels all run away. They did the exact opposite. I don't know whether that was a mistake or that's how it was booked, but it was a disaster. Horrible show.
My God.
If you guys want me, I don't know if I can watch next week's Dynamite and actually review it. So this is probably a one-time thing because I wanted to, check it out. So because I thought Hobbs maybe win the title, it'd be a good moment. Turns out I was wrong. I shouldn't have watched it. Steven says Death Rider sounds like a damn motorcycle gang. Yeah, I think the intention is supposed to be a white supremacist group, but that they kind of dropped that now. It's kind of, because they kept beating up black wrestlers when they first started. And Powerhouse Hobb is black, so.
Right?
Yeah, so.
Oh my God.
That was AEW Maximum Carnage. It sucked, whatever. Now, real quick, let's bring up Penta's preview, debut. I don't know what I'm saying on Raw.
It's okay.
This past Monday. I just said every other word but debut, so. Okay, first let's get to let's just get to the entrance. They did a fantastic job of, putting him over as a star. I mean, everything from the fire in the back to his excitement, his energy when he came out. It was, and then for some reason he does the Pink Panther thing. Do you know what I'm talking about? The the way he walked, it looked like, it reminded me of Pink Panther. Yeah.
That's copyrighted music. Sorry.
Yeah, that it reminded me of that, and I was like, oh, he's walking like Pink Panther. He did it twice in his entrance.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, no.
And then he comes, and then the match starts, and the match was, and Penta kind of wasn't used to WWE ring because, first of all, the ropes are real ropes; they're not cables, so there's not much spring to them. So when you jump, it doesn't look as good. So that's an issue. He had an issue with that. Another issue is the fact that the ring is bigger. WWE rings are 20 by 20, and they're usually used to 18 by 18, so the rings are a tiny bit smaller in AEW. And WWE is 20 by 20, so he had extra 2 feet to work with, and you could see throughout the match he's not used to working in the 20 by 20. So there was a spot where Gable whipped him to the turnbuckle, and he kind of messed up and put his back too early into it.
Yo, like, what the fuck? I'm on WWE's shop, and they don't have Braun Breaker.
They don't have any merch for him?
No.
Oh. They have merch. They have merch for Penta. I mean, he's right in the front page.
Yeah, Penta, but they don't have Braun Breaker. What's up with that, WWE? Come on.
Yeah, so then after that, they have their match. Eventually, what I didn't like, the one thing I can nitpick is WWE, they've been doing the angle with the power driver. The fact the power driver puts you out for months automatically. They did it, Randy Orton did it with Cody. But Penta hit his flipping power driver on Chad Gable, and he kicked out at 2. That's the only thing I didn't like. Is like, yeah, but you've been doing this angle for months with the power driver. Now he does his power driver, and Chad Gable's kicking out. Doesn't make any sense.
I know. The only thing I liked about it is, I guess Chad Gable is trying to be a Kurt Angle. Yeah. And literally he comes out like the Kurt Angle. He's got the singlet on like Kurt Angle, and everyone's like, "You suck! You suck!"
There's Braun Breaker merch.
Where? I didn't see it.
Here, I'll put it in the private chat. It'll pop up. There's a link there. So just click on that link.
Oh, here. I put his name in there. They've got like an action figure for him.
Yeah, they have t-shirts and action figures and stuff. So, yeah, and then Penta wins the match with his Penta driver finish, and he cuts his promo, and most of it was in Spanish. I understood it, but he look at his eyes. He believed it. He was so excited to be there. His family is there. You know what they did? They made me care about Penta. I've seen Penta for, I think, about 7 years.
I was gonna say, wasn't he on? Wasn't he AEW?
He was in AEW. He was in TNA, and he was in Lucha Underground. So I've been seeing him for years, and I never cared about him. They made me care about him in one promo, and his family is there. That's the whole point of professional wrestling. Make you care about the characters, that are on TV.
Yeah.
Even though Penta's wrestling may not be the best, and it's a lucha style, which other than Rey Mysterio, Americans don't really like for the most part. So, but yeah, I mean,
that's just sad that they don't have it on. They have it on WWE, but they don't have it on Amazon. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I don't know what you thought of the match. Maybe you had some things to say. So
yeah. Okay. So I wasn't really impressed. I'm not going to be very nice to Penta. I'm sorry, guys. I couldn't. I'm like, who the fuck is this, and why the fuck is he on TV or Netflix at this point? It's almost like he was coming out as the Fiend. You know how the Fiend would come out? That's what it kind of reminded me of. And yeah, he's a lucha. Yeah, but I mean, again, he was AEW and he wrestles like it. He wrestles like, and then of course you have Chad Gable kicking out of everything. And I just really wasn't impressed with this match. Maybe if he was against Rey Mysterio, like Rey Mysterio went against Kevin Owens. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I wasn't very impressed with the Penta thing.
The only thing, Penta, he actually sold in this match. He sold his ass off.
He did sell.
That's the first time I ever seen him sell. So I was like, oh wow.
I was like, wow. When Chad Gable grabbed his leg and put it around the pole, he's like, ah! I'm like,
oh wow, he's selling.
Boy, he got some good pipes.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever seen him sell, and I've been
It was a
watching.
little, but it was a little too much, a little over dramatic. Like he acted like he was dying, like someone was killing him.
Well, I mean, he knows that WWE isn't going to put up with that no selling lucha bullshit that he used to do, so he's taking it more seriously now.
Oh man, I don't know what to buy now. What do I do? Oh boy, I'm gonna have to like watch.
So yeah, I mean that was Penta. I thought he got over. I mean, if you hear the crowd that night, he got over, even though the match might have been the best.
Over, but I mean,
that's
a lot to be desired.
That's all WWE cares about. I mean, and they're gonna sell the shit out of that mask. That mask rated number 1 in WWE.
I mean, oh my god, they already have merch for it on WWE.
Yeah, so that mask is gonna sell like crazy. It's already selling like hotcakes. People want that mask.
Well, and like I said, it reminded me a lot of the Fiend. When Bray Wyatt, when he came out as the Fiend and it was his alter ego and everything. It kind of reminded me of that, but only Mexican lucha.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, not a big fan, but I like the luchas back in the 90s, like Juventud Guerrero, Eddie Guerrero, Chavez, all the lucha libres that we used to see. Because I saw Rey Mysterio without his mask on. Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
I saw Juventud Guerrero without his mask on.
For some reason, they took Ray. I saw Ray without a mask in WCW. They took it off him because he lost to somebody. I forget who right now, but
Juventud took it off because he lost to Jericho.
Yeah.
I think he lost to Kevin Nash because they were trying to make Rey Mysterio part of the NWO.
Yeah, they lost to somebody, and it might have been Nash, and they took the mask off.
Remember when he threw him into that trailer like a dart?
Yeah, and Nash
Ray was like, "Do it!"
Yeah, Nash told the story that initially Ray wanted to throw him through the window,
and
Nash was like, "Yeah, you want me to kill you? I'm not going to kill you on national TV,
no,
Ray.
I'm not going to do that."
So it's like, okay, throw me off the trailer. It's like, oh, I can do that.
I also am really thinking about getting a Cody Rhodes shirt. I know. Damn it. Well, Cody grew on me. He totally grew on me. He's like his dad. He grows on you.
Yeah. So let's see. The WWE TNA deal. Now, this is the last thing we'll probably get to before 9, but WWE and TNA came to a working agreement, so they're going to work together now, both companies. And as everybody knows, there's a pay-per-view tomorrow night for TNA. I didn't know until they started kind of promoting it. WWE started promoting it, so it's called Sacrifice or whatever it is, but it's tomorrow night, and apparently some NXT people could show up. Doesn't mean I'm gonna order the pay-per-view because I'm not. It's like they're going. I'm sure they're gonna have some NXT people show up.
Business. I thought they were out of business.
Oh no,
they got bought off, didn't they?
They got bought by Anthem, and they're like a husk. But now, honestly, they're starting to get some momentum again. And that's thanks to WWE, and WWE's been putting in a lot of.
Well, I mean, look at WWE. WWE is literally rolling, and AEW's in the drain. See how? I mean, they're like this far apart. Yeah. I mean, not even as wide as my screen.
And they're bringing in, they're bringing up TNA and helping them out. So
right, and they're also, they're like going full. They got this Netflix deal. They're getting these other deals. I told my coworkers today, well, my boss and my coworker today, that I said like literally, WWE has moved Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. I said the second night of WrestleMania is literally on my birthday, 4/20.
Yeah, so, they really.
I said they made moved. SummerSlam 2 nights. He's like, when did they do that?
Yeah, they have more talent, and they're getting paid for the 2 nights. Honestly, these cities are paying for
Saudi
both
Arabia
nights.
And
they don't
over
give
in Europe and over in Australia. I mean, WWE's got it all.
WWE doesn't give a shit. Okay, you won 2 nights. We'll give you 2 nights. It doesn't matter.
We'll give you 2 nights. We'll give you Jesse Ventura and Saturday Night's Main Event back. I mean, guys, this is happening for WWE. This is why Vince was so. Even though you can say what you want about Vince McMahon, But this is why Vince got so popular and eventually bought out WCW.
Yeah.
Because literally they were getting all these deals that WCW was not getting.
They couldn't get or weren't even trying. So if you guys may not remember this, but I'm just TNA had a partnership with AEW at one point, and I say partnership because that's not what it was. Tony basically raped them of their talent and basically left them there to die. So Kenny Omega was the TNA champion for months. He didn't appear on TNA television at all, so it was basically AEW just raping TNA. And then now that you know what, the hell with this, we're gonna WWE, and now they're kind of back. They kind of have some momentum now. And New Japan, look at New Japan. Tony's completely destroyed New Japan. I mean, their partnership is Tony taking all their talent and bringing him to AEW, so he can do nothing with them.
I just saw a couple more Japan matches with Kurt. Against some of their top talent. And I'm like, holy shit. I mean, he's holding his own against the Japanese, and that's pretty damn good.
Japanese wrestling today, it's like a shell of what it used to be. I mean, at one point, Japanese wrestling was probably the best in the world, but now it's like just a shell. And that thanks to Tony Khan's influence because, he'd been booking, AEW New Japan super shows in Japan, the Tokyo Dome. And the Tokyo Dome is not sold out. It's less than halfway full for the shows. Why is New Japan still dealing with Tony Khan? I don't know.
I mean, they've literally gone into the toilet. So stop it. Stop doing that. Go to WWE. WWE will at least build you back up, get you more shows, get you.
In fact, there is talk of New Japan, partnering with WWE once their AEW thing expires.
See?
And if that happens, then Tony's going to be like melting down because New Japan is like his niche audience loves New Japan, so even though it's dead now. Their world champion is 175-pound Zack Sabre Jr. is their world champion. Which is some kid, that does, flippy moves and stuff. And he's 175 pounds. He's their world heavyweight champion. So
I mean, no offense to no offense to the AEW fans, but Vince McMahon is laughing at you, and he's not even a part of WWE anymore.
No, these guys are all clowns, and so
even a good fiction writer couldn't come up with.
It's like when Antonio Inoki died, New Japan died with him, and people don't realize it yet.
Yeah, he was a great wrestler too, great Japanese
Inoki
wrestler.
made you.
I have some of his matches coming up against some Americans, but I mean, man, he had.
Yeah, Inoki was the guy in New Japan. I mean, and when he died, New Japan died with him because the new ownership is kind of shit on his legacy, and now they're partner with Tony Khan, and he has no respect for it. Even though he says he does, but he doesn't because he just keeps signing away all their talent and doesn't help them at all with, making new talent or new stars.
I mean, like guys like Ultimo Dragon, I really liked him. Boy, he could really get you going. And then the great Muto who would spray the mist. I thought that was really cool. He was also NWO, so, Of course, I liked him because he was NWO.
Oh, yeah, so make sure you start going over the Rumble and stuff, and it's almost
Go to Rumble.
Yeah, so WWE has their deal with TNA, and they're going to, bring them back up, obviously. So,
oh my gosh, that's cute. They have a onesie that says Mr. Perfect. Oh my god. I just was like, I'm just going to type this in. Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's adorable. I freaking want that, even though I don't have a baby anymore. Dude. Come on. That's freaking awesome.
What's up, big sister?
Hey.
Hello. I don't know if you've been watching, but oh my god, I was like, I want to break down and buy a Braun Breaker shirt and a Cody Rhodes. But I just typed in Mr. Perfect, and there's a little onesie with Mr. Perfect on. I'm like, oh my god, I want it. And I don't even have a baby anymore. My son's 8. But if I had another baby, oh yeah, I would so get him that. Oh my god, it's so adorable. Like I want to buy everything on here. $50, $40. Oh god. Why do I have to be freaking
Yeah,
poor?
a lot of that stuff is kind of overpriced now.
So the
I remember
Commanders took the lead against the Lions.
Huh.
We're talking about NFL playoffs.
Well, yeah, no offense, but NFL is rigged. But no, who is it? What's the what's the score?
For the Commanders Lions game? Commanders are now leading 13-10.
Are you fucking shitting me? And here I'm thinking, oh, they want to, they want it to be Kansas City and the Detroit.
Yeah, well, it's possible.
I'm trying to figure out what the storyline is.
Kansas City did win today. Oh my god, so shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all right,
I know.
so start migrating over to the other platforms. I mean, I'm just going to
It's the freaking
wrap
Texans.
these up real quick.
CJ Stroud got pummeled tonight.
I want that so bad. Please.
All right.
Before